It is 3:30 in the morning on Saturday, March 8th. I am kind of embarrassed. Not really embarrassed, but my friends will go in on me if I tell them that I am up this late and not partying. I told you I needed to get ahead, and so I'm getting ahead on work. So I just finished, and when I say just finished, I mean just finished my algorithm homework. I just had to create a quick algorithm for checking the inversions within an array, proof by induction of the quicksort algorithm. Quicksort? Not a quicksort, it's partition algorithm, which is like a little bit more basic than quicksort. And then I just had to find the runtime of some recursion trees. And now I'm done, and it's 3:30 in the morning, and I can't tell if this is health. Well, it's probably not healthy that I'm doing homework until this late at night, but it's more annoying the fact that I actually kind of enjoy it because I'm able to just put on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and just watch through that, or put some music through the speakers on the in the classroom and absolutely just jam out in a building where nobody else is here. Because, like, I think the thing that I miss the most about having my own room, for one, is, like, not having to wear AirPods, but, like, being able to, like, sing out loud to just stuff. Like, I kind of miss that a lot. Sorry, I'm just erasing my work that I wrote on the board. But, like, I really enjoy singing, not the fact that I'm, like, good at singing. Like, I will say that I am pretty good at singing, but I'm not amazing at singing. Like, I'm able to hold a note and be there. My range isn't that great. And no, I'm not going to be singing at all. That's just absolute embarrassment for anybody right now. But I'm decent enough at singing that it's fun to sing. And I used to be in, like, choir and stuff in, like, high school because it was an easy credit. And I like singing. It's fun to just kind of do that because, like, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I have a brain that works too much and thinks too much half the time. So I can't ever not be doing something, even if I'm doing something. So, like, even if I'm playing video games, doing homework, reading even, if I'm not listening to something and processing that information, then I'm not able to focus because my brain wanders. And so half the time I like to sing when doing work because it makes me it gets rid of, like, I'm focused on my work, but the other half of my brain that's unfocused is then focusing on the music. So then I can ignore that part of it and then just focus on the music. It's like the same thing when I drive. Like, when I drive, I blast music and sing the entire time. For one, it keeps me awake, and two, it makes it less boring. And it makes it so that part of my brain is not constantly thinking and makes the time drawn out longer. So, like, if I'm in a classroom and I'm in a building really late at night, that's, like, kind of pretty isolated, and I've mentioned before it has automatic lights that are based on movement. So when the lights are off in the hallway, I know nobody else is around because if there are people out in the hallway, then it'll be moving. So I can blast music in here and feel very comfortable that nobody is listening, and I can just sing because it's fun, and sometimes it's actually a really good way to get out emotions. Like, you play some sad songs, some Joji, some whatever, or you play some really happy kind of bouncy things, and it's a good way of getting stuff out. And so I kind of like doing that. And when you have roommates, and you're in the room, you have to be complete silence. It's kind of common courtesy. If they're in there and you're not talking with them, you should not be doing anything else. You should not be watching a video out loud. You should not be listening to music out loud. It's privacy and, like, keeping it to yourself, and it's really annoying because I really hate wearing AirPods sometimes, and I can't sing. So I just love it when I'm in a classroom and I can just be me and do all that stuff with complete comfort and privacy. But yeah, I don't know, that idea of like I don't, the thing that I remember watching a video somewhere where it says that some people just have overactive imaginations and need to listen. Like, I need to constantly listen to something when I'm sleeping or something. I can never just sit in silence. And it's not the fact that like it's just extremely, extremely boring for me. Like, there are times where silence is really nice, and maybe just reading is cool or something like that. But more than not, I need to be doing something. I need to be watching YouTube videos. I need to be listening to music. Like, I had 80,000 minutes last year for Spotify Wrapped, which was significantly more than all my friends or family members. And so, I don't know, that's just it. Like, I remember when I was younger, I was deathly afraid of the dark. And I remember, like, specifically, like, a couple of nights where it was, like, my mind kept going back to inventing scenarios where monsters would come out and eat me or terrorize me or something from horror games that I watched. And I think now that I realize is that, like, the way that I would fall asleep then is I would try and force my mind to wander to a random subject and just think about that, which may be valid advice, but when I watch YouTube or listen to music, my mind doesn't wander to those random topics, and it just is able to focus on the music or focus on the topic of the video. So when I sleep, my mind doesn't disturb me with random thoughts. And I've talked about my anxiety. I get secondhand embarrassment pretty easily. So sometimes my mind will wander to the ever so, like, the random embarrassing thoughts, and I'm like, whoa, and I have to, like, kind of recompose myself to not think about that anymore. So I can't sleep in the dark. And like, I don't understand people that just can fall asleep with no music or anything. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it's not like white noise where you just want some background noise. If I don't have something I can focus on and make my mind think about, then I can't fall asleep. And it's the same thing with reading. I have, like, half my brain is reading and digesting what's happening on the pages, and then another half of my brain is thinking about something else, or thinking about the time, or thinking about how uncomfortable I am in the sitting position, I have to move. So I need to listen to lo-fi when I read so that I can focus on reading, and that other part of my brain that's not reading right now is focusing on the music. Same thing with homework. When I'm doing homework, I'll have my brain focus on the homework, and then that other half of the brain focusing on how much I hate doing this work, how much I want to be doing something else, how uncomfortable I am in this sitting position. So I have to play a video where I'm on, or listen to music again, so those parts of my brain can focus on things simultaneously. And I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's how it works for my brain. Like, even like playing video games. I am this is the thing that I always thought about kind of weird, was that if I play video games, I play the video game, but then I also watch a YouTube video. And I always thought that maybe wasn't the healthiest thing, because I'm actively playing a video game. I'm doing something on the screen that should be engaging enough. Yet I find it more boring when I'm not listening to something to have my brain interact with. So, I don't know. The other things kind of make sense because I'm constantly thinking about how much I don't want to do this thing. But with video games, I get really invested. And I guess I get really invested in what's going on. And therefore, I don't actually, if I'm watching a video, and I usually put on, longer, commentary videos, video essays or whatever. And my brain tunes it out. And then sometimes I have to go back in the video because I got into a really important part of the video game, or I got really locked in a boss, and I don't remember what happened. But I can't just listen to the music of the the place, I have to listen to music. Like when I would record my old videos, I never felt bored playing the video games because I was constantly talking. When I'm with friends, I'm not bored because I'm constantly talking. I think it's the fact that I have two parts of my brain that are focusing at two different things at all times. And if I have one thing focusing on the important thing, I can't have that other thing just wander around. I need that music or that YouTube video to make it concentrate on something else so that I can have my real concentration put onto the actual work. And I guess that kind of works the same with driving. I know the parents always be like, oh, I need to turn down the music to focus a little bit easier. But for me, if I get into a stress situation, I actually need music to play so that I can focus more on the road. Like, I remember the first time that I, really did a big trip. I guess trip was an understatement, or an overstatement. I went on, a 2-hour drive when I was 16. I just got my permit, and I needed to go somewhere I think my sister was playing in a tournament somewhere, and I was going out with my dad, because we had to leave a little bit later than my mom and my sister. And so I remember it was a hurricane, and I was driving in the most rainfall I've seen in my entire life. And it was one of the most terrifying experiences ever. And my dad kept trying to force me to turn off the music because he couldn't focus on just driving. But for me, if I turned off the music, then I would focus, I guess, I would wander off, I think. So I needed that music to ground that part of my brain so then I could just focus on the road. I think the way that I kind of explain it now, especially with driving, is that if I play something familiar, like music or a YouTube video, then I don't utterly focus on the things that are going wrong when I'm driving. So if I play music, then I solely focus on the road and solely focus on everything that's going on, and makes me a little bit hyper aware of everything going on. It makes me correct really small mistakes and do a bunch of things that I probably shouldn't be doing when driving. Because driving, you should never correct every single small mistake you make. It's more about the general thing. Be smooth with it. And oh my God, I'm packing up the room right now, but that happens in that way, and it's completely different than my parents. Oh, okay, whatever. And I don't know, that's just a unique thing. Is it some sort of ADHD derivative or something like that, or something similar? I wonder if other people do that. I know other people definitely watch YouTube and listen to music because they're just bored of what they're doing and they need to not be bored. But I feel it's more so is that if I play music or watch a YouTube video, I focus better. And maybe that's completely normal, but the way that I do it and the way that my parents kept telling me don't do it feels like it's different than the norm. And I don't know if that's different at all. Yeah, it's getting way too late. I should have been in my room an hour ago. Tomorrow is daylight savings again. I hate it so much, so at least I'll be able to get more light time at night. But I should be going to bed because I'll get 1 less hour sleep tomorrow, and I have to do a lot. And I also really want to play more Elden Ring, so I gotta head to bed.